When you're new to Muay Thai, it can be pretty overwhelming. There's a lot to get your head around at the beginning, from techniques like catches, sweeps, clinching, to scoring. It can be pretty overwhelming, but here are 3 things that I wish I knew when I started Muay Thai, because if I know these from the beginning, it would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of wasted hard work. So let's get straight into it. The first thing that I wish I'd known is that ring time is king. Experience is the way forward. This applies to both training and getting into the ring. In terms of training, this means sparring as much as possible, clinching as much as possible, drilling, doing as much as possible in a live, active situation. Because I can't tell you enough how I've seen some people who are beautiful on pads, hit the bag for hours a day and gorgeous, but when they get into a pressure situation with an actual live opponent, they're just not used to it. So the key is to just put yourself in a fight-related scenario as much as possible. Whether that is sparring, situational sparring, drilling, clinching, whatever it is, you've got to do the actual thing to get better at it. And when it comes to fighting, I have a very Thai style attitude. I think you should try and get in the ring as often and early as possible. I think as much ring time and as much experience in the ring is only going to help you. A really knowledgeable fighter once told me, the first 20 fights shouldn't even matter. You shouldn't even worry about decision. That's almost just the warm-up into your career. You know, most Thai fighters have 200-300 fights. From a young age, they're just churning out the fights, so that by the time they're at a high level and they're fighting high-level opponents, any fear or pressure isn't coming from being in the ring and performing, which will just be there for your first X amount of fights. It's coming from fighting a high-level opponent, because when you're fighting those high-level opponents, you don't want to be in a situation where you're feeling the pressure of fighting in front of a crowd. You're feeling the pressure of a 6-week camp, all banking on this one moment. You've got to be used to dealing with that pressure, because you're going to have the pressure of a big, important fight on your back. To talk for some personal experience, last year, in the last 5 months of last year, I fought 6 times. Now, in that period over 5 months, I think I learned more about fighting, about my style, about myself, than I had in years. Because in the end of the day, to get better at something, you've just got to do more of the thing. And it got to the point where I was in the ring every 3 or 4 weeks. I was basically fighting at Raja every month, so that it just felt so normal. I just felt so comfortable. And I finally felt like I could actually start doing stuff in the ring. And I overcame that. Fear isn't the word, but I managed to control my emotions and adrenaline, and it just became the normal. And when it's the normal, you can then thrive. Okay, so on to number 2. And this one I see loads of new fighters making, is putting yourself in a box way too early. You see people with 5-10 fights going, yeah, I'm Muay Thai, oh, I'm Muay Mat, I'm Muay Cow. And to be honest, I was really guilty of this. On my first trip out to Thailand, I ended the trip with a stint at FA group, and I fell in love with the clinch. Went home for 6 months, moved back out to Thailand full time, and trained at FA group for 2 years. I loved it, and I thrived in the clinch. Now, I was getting to the point in my fights where I was forcing the clinch, I was coming forward, and I was trying to clinch when it really wasn't the best thing to do, because it's where I felt most comfortable and it was where I was strongest. But it was where I was strongest because it's where I'd spent the most time, not because I was maybe most naturally inclined or it was the right thing to do in that situation. And I see way too many people doing this, which is because I initially spent the most time developing the clinch, I decided I was a clincher. Whereas what actually you should do is develop all your skills evenly. Then once you have an understanding of everything, boxing, kicking, being more on the back foot, being more aggressive, more book. Once you have an understanding of all your skills more, then you decide, I like fighting like this for these reasons, rather than just this is all I know and so this is what I'm going to pick. So yeah, now, I'm trying to be more balanced. That's why I'm here in Japan, working on my boxing. I'm trying to fight in different ways. I try and spar in different ways, because putting yourself in a box too early means that you have weaknesses, not just a strength. You can say, for example, I'm Muay Cow, but it's really, that's just a skill you have and everything else is a weakness. Whereas what you should have is everything is a strength, but then your specialty, aka Muay Cow clinching, is extra special. Third and finally, and I was an absolute sucker for this one. And the problem is, it comes from a good place. It comes from wanting to be good, but it's just believing that like effort and sheer force and quantity is better than quality, which just isn't the case. For example, you can go to the gym, you can hit your pads, you can spar, and then you can go, I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna leave the gym better than I was. And so you can hit the bag for 12, 15 rounds. But if you're not really focusing, if you're tired, if it becomes a bit sloppy, you know, when you teep, you're falling forward, you let your chin come up a bit. When you kick, the return's not quick. Those small habits are gonna become reinforced. And then when you're tired in the fight, that's when they're gonna show. So those sloppy rounds in the bag, they can actually be more damaging than just not training at all. So now, for example, I'll try and do 3 rounds on the bag with high intensity, perfect technique, thinking like I'm in a fight, quality where I actually improve, and then, okay, if I want to get fit, then I'll go off and do some sprints. But again, with a focus, instead of just trying to work hard, then actually improve. This volume issue can really be applied to your training schedule as well. For example, great, you're training at home every night, 6 nights a week, and you're running in the mornings. But realistically, if you're so tired that you're not performing at those sessions, not only are you reinforcing bad habits, but you're just not moving forward. Maybe you reduce the volume, you rest 1 or 2 nights, but guess what? Each session you turn up and you actually improve technically, and you can push yourself, you can get in the right heart rate zones, and you improve physically. You know, Bob's your uncle, you're getting better. And this can also be applied to not just, you know, skill-based training like Muay Thai and reinforcing bad techniques, but actually your physical and conditioning. For example, it's great. You can go and do 30 shuttle sprints, you know, at 90% power. What are you actually improving there? Not really improving your VO2 max. You're definitely not improving your max speed or max acceleration. You're basically just getting fit. Whereas instead, you could do an interval session, 3 minutes on, 1 minute off, times 4, improve your VO2 max, therefore recover quicker in the ring. Or you could do 5 sprints, quality, with 2 minutes rest in between, 15 meters. Not really improving your fitness at all, but what that's going to do is improve your max speed and your max acceleration, quality over quantity, and actually improve what you're working on, rather than just trying to do everything at once and not really improving anything. So yeah, I try to keep it short and sweet, but those are 3 things I wish I knew when I had started Muay Thai. Ring time is key, quality over quantity, and don't put yourself in a box too early. If you made it this far through the video, I'm guessing if you didn't enjoy it, you at least found it interesting, so I'd really appreciate if you could give it a like, drop a subscribe, and yeah, I'm going to be trying to post more content like this, as well as some vlogs, and showing my life fighting and training. So yeah, see you next time.